Hello to this question and answer type thing on a cold, cold Tokyo winter day. Today I've had no wish to get out of my blanket, futon, what have you. So, while in my blanket, I will go through these questions and answer them to the best of my ability. You may be asking yourself, Kyle, why not a video? Well, I do not want to go and get all dressed up on such a cold day. And I imagine you, wherever you are in the world, are also experiencing such coldness. And perhaps you don't want to stare at the screen the whole time, like me, and wish to bury yourself within blankets and listen to my stupid ass voice while I answer your stupid ass questions. And so, ladies and gentlemen, ghouls and ghosts, let us begin. Our first question. Kairu, my homie, I need to know if you have any silly little raccoon decorations, 'cause if you don't, I am sending you one. From Trick, Colt Saul. I do not have any raccoon decorations. I would enjoy some. However, my apartment is completely filled with musical gear. However, if one day we were to meet, and you were to give me a raccoon decoration, I would cherish it until my dying day. Next question. Do you like at Raspberry Time? Twitter user. I ask you, what is not to like? Next question. You have been creating a lot of material, not just for yourself, but for others. Has there been any difficulties? Or what is the most difficult part of the process for you? From Ashley. Svid Tush. Something of the tush. From Phoenix. Firstly, let me say, Phoenix is such a wonderful place. When I went there as a young wee lad, I saw no trash anywhere. I imagine it is possibly because it is too hot to go out and throw trash willy-nilly about when you're at home experiencing the opposite of what I am experiencing now. Extreme cold. About the process of creation, because I've been doing this so long, and because I know how to dive into myself, using monkey words like into, or what would I say, like three-dimensional words when talking about something that's beyond that. It's kind of silly to me, but I imagine you get what I'm saying, as you are also of the human form. But, yeah, I've been doing this so long that I know how to tap into that part, the higher self, I guess you could say. So that's not that difficult. Some days the flesh cannot keep up with the spirit. Like last week, I believe it was, I passed out for I think it was 9 hours. But yes, I am addicted to creation. It is more so hard for me to stop creating. I have more fun creating things than anything else. Creating things for other people is hard, in a sense, because I have to think about what they want. But 50% of the time, I try to ignore that, because people who aren't doing my work do not have the sense of someone who does such work. So, it is good to ignore them sometimes, because they do not know what they want, or it is imitation that they want, not innovation. And a rule I have for myself is innovate, never imitate. Taken from the band, The Unit, Client, from the UK. Wonderful synth pop unit. So that is the difficult part. When I was a graphic designer also, I had to ignore people lots of the time. Just being a band leader over the years. And learning to ignore my own inner voices, stupid ideals. Yes, that is that has been the biggest learning experience, I guess. So, to answer the question in short, people can be stupid, so that makes it difficult sometimes. I can be stupid sometimes, so that makes it difficult. But really, it's kind of easy now. I've been doing this so long. I know what I want. I know what sounds good. And thanks to everyone, fans, fellow musicians, I've also gained tons of confidence. And confidence is key. Next question. What's the strangest interaction you have had with another bandman? From your favorite raccoon child, Vasya. I hope I'm saying that right, Vasya, as you are, apparently. My favorite raccoon child. And as I said before, confidence is key. Strangest interaction I've had. Many I probably cannot say, as I am a bandman. I will protect other bandmen, especially if they are my friends. Needless to say, after saying that, there have been many crazy, strange interactions that often make me, or rather, my inner child, go, what the fuck is my existence? In a very good way. Some that I can talk about. Okay, one very fun time, or rather, a time where I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I was performing in Yokosuka, Hide's hometown. Hide being my favorite musician. And the bands I was performing with on Hide's birthday were childhood friends of him, high school friends from his musical days and stuff, from X and such. So, after the performance, we were all drinking until morning. I fell asleep on a couch in the back of the live house, and when I woke, sleeping on my shoulder was former ex-bassist Hikaru, bassist before Taiji, and then sleeping on my boot, using my foot and my boot as a pillow, was the original guitarist for Jiggy from their indie days. And I just had, I guess you would say, a blue screen moment with my brain just going, what is my life? What is existence? It was really strange. Some the ones I can talk about are hard to think of. Let me see. You see, you raccoon children, raccoon adults, wherever you are. The crazy stories I just cannot share. There have been lots of drunken times where I've just been like, oh, my friend, one of my childhood heroes, drunk, asleep on my crotch. And I used to listen to you from junior high days. Good times. Drunk. Kissy kissy times. Yes, but alas, that is the end of my answer, as I cannot share these things. I hope you understand. Next question. If you could collab with any artist, who would be your dream collabs? As we have seen recently with that group that shall not be named, often collaborations can be terrible, but thinking of something that would be good, I would like, now this will be strange to some of you, I would love to create an album with Katie Tunstall because she is perfection. And I feel as she enjoys many good musics, and she has tried to put out some, or I won't say try, she has put out more electronic or experimental things that people might not expect her to put out. I feel my musical sense combined with hers could create something good. And I do love her so much. If one of you were to ask me, what celebrity do you wish to marry? The answer also would be Katie Tunstall. The Acoustic Extravaganza album. So many nights in California with fellow musician, friend, doing terrible things, listening to that album. I will keep it at that. Okay. Next question. What fashion styles do you like? Actually, I studied fashion design a bit in high school. However, I drove my teacher insane, and I believe she did quit that year. Now, I imagine after saying that, I should expand on that story a bit. Other classmates in that class were also fans of visual kei. And they were very strange like me. Gay friend, crazy strange white gothic girl, and black gay friend also. And with me, that's a bad combination. So, our teacher thought we were the devil. And one day she told us to design our own panties, underwear, if you will. And I decided to make a double T back, a T front and a T back. And she was so angry when I presented it to the class. However, with a completely dry and straight face, I asked her why she was questioning my artistic design, and that it hurt me so. Many days of that led to her quitting. I'm so sorry, wherever you are in the world, that you had to deal with such a dry and evil little child. But back to the question. Fashion styles I enjoy. Early Chanel, vintage Chanel, simple is best. I like timeless things. I also like past historical outfits, very much so, as a student of ancient history. But for modern fashion, I'm supposing, of course, I like certain gothic brands, Alice Awa, and Black Piece Now. Lots of their asymmetrical pieces were very nice. But then 80s, 90s, 70s, 60s, 50s, there's so much good fashion out there. But I do like rather timeless things. Next question. From a student who wants to study in Japan, how did you end up working in Japan? Well, if you're a student, asking a dumb, crazy, insane musician these types of questions is probably not the best thing to do. I believe you will probably get a better answer from someone like Echo, our bassist in my Psychosonic Boom project, or even more so, someone who is a student through and through. I'm sorry I cannot answer your question, but thank you for asking. Next question. What are your inspirations for music? And what made you decide on this career path? Well, first and foremost, my grandfather is a professional drummer who went around the world doing many marvelous and stupid things, of which he taught me about. So, from a young age, observing him performing with other very talented musicians, that was the basis of things. Later on, after going through a hard time in my life, puberty and whatnot, amongst other things, I tried to kill myself. Thankfully, I did not succeed. And then, after that, well, before then, was it before then or after then? Around that time, I also got expelled from school. And whilst searching for some meaning in life, I stumbled upon Hide from X Japan in junior high and decided, this guy's pretty fucking cool. That's what I'm gonna do with my life. And thus, the journey of a Central California farm boy to becoming a professional musician in Japan began. But overall, lots of influences. I guess it's Hide, Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, Prince, and if you don't know Prince, there's something wrong with you. Mana from Malice Miser, the bassist for Vassala, backstage at one of our recent gigs. He was getting a real kick out of how some foreigners pronounce Malice Miseria as Malice Miser overseas, as we did in our circle in America. But again, back to the question. So as someone who does everything themselves, and again, going back to my grandfather, he told me many times I had to be a triple threat. I had to be able to perform, I have to be able to sing and such, all these things, not just one thing. And then also telling me that I should be like Prince one time, someone who can do like everything. So people like that really became a big inspiration for me. But as a student of music, I have so many inspirations that probably would be strange, maybe to you. They shouldn't be. Things like James Brown. Of course, Zappa. If talking about people who do everything themselves, Frank Zappa is someone I respect a lot. I have so many influences. I listen to music from Iran, Russia. I always try to check out emerging places like Kazakhstan has been having a really good music scene recently for pop stuff and a metal band also. I try to check everything and everything. But like favorite album has to be Nine Inch Nails' The Fragile or of course Hide Science. Those two are big influences for me. Bara no Seido by Malice Miser. Prince would probably, that's hard because he has so many good albums, but maybe Parade as an album is the one I enjoy the most, respect the most. But of course 1999, Love Symbol album is so crazy. For the SJW types, if you actually like know the history of like what he's singing about, I'm so surprised and not surprised, like, because of Western cancel culture. That album is so good but so cringe if you know the history behind it. But yeah, those are probably my main influences. But again, I try to absorb so much as possible. I hope that answered your question. And now for our final and very, very serious, very civil, I was about to say, You'll have to excuse me, as I do not get to use English often, being in Japan for a decade or so. Yeah, not many times to use English, as I'm not an English teacher, nor in any job of any sorts, as my job is just creating music. Okay, but last question. At what age did your raccoon obsession begin? Well, I was born in a farm town, Central Valley, California, and my formative years were on a farm. So, I had quite a good little connection with nature, and I've always loved animals of all sorts. For raccoons specifically, I imagine it would have to be the Disney movie Pocahontas. Her cute little raccoon friend. Excuse me. I imagine he was my first little raccoon love. But one day, as a young adult, I went to go out to feed our cats. We had many cats at my house. I lived in like a separate little like pool house thingy, a small little house. And I went out one morning, and it was a cold day like today. And I went to go check if there was cat food in the front cat food dispenser thing. Porch. The porch. Yes. Again, my bad English usage, I'm sorry. And to my shock, to my amazement, in the fluffy kitty bed with our cats, enjoying the warmth, the mutual advantage of being furry together, was a raccoon with our cats, sleeping. And I thought, how magical. And I got my mother, and I believe I remember her thinking I was lying, but it was true. And yes, the raccoons were left. The raccoon, singular, was left to his fuzzy warm bedtime. And I was very jealous. I wanted to sleep with that raccoon too. But I love all animals. I love llamas. When I went up to Hokkaido before the pandemic, I believe it was right before, and I went to a country farm, like petting zoo type place, and there was a single llama, and I felt so bad because I know llamas shouldn't be alone, social animals. So I spent like 30 to 40 minutes with him, or even an hour, I believe, just feeding him, petting him. And then when I went away, I saw him looking at me from afar, and I had to go back and spend more time with that llama. But yes, that is my answer. I've always loved animals more than I love humans. Vastly more than I love humans. This has been my Q&A thingamajig. Part 1. Let's do this again. Ask me any questions you have, and I will answer them to the best of my abilities. This has been Kyle, Kairu, whatever you wish to call me. Entity, formerly known as Kyle. Thank you, and have a good, warm day. Bye-bye.